Splitgate 2 by 1047 Games, which is coming out early 2025. Dave, I'm just gonna, can I guess your thoughts on this?
Go for it.
Are you like, why is this game coming out? Is that your thoughts?
No, I'm not. I'm not like, why is this game coming out? Because I know that this game does have a following. I just, I don't know. It's just another game that's not for me.
Is it a game that you don't feel like has the innovation to keep moving it forward?
I feel like it's a game that was probably left alone, like best left alone.
See, that's where I thought so too. For a couple of reasons. One, the game exploded. I don't know if you remember this, but the game exploded. Everybody played it. They're like, Halo meets Portal. This new Portal element in the game is so new, so cool. And so it exploded very quick, and then it died off. And so I decided to just look up the average player base of like the last 30 days. They averaged 270 players. So not like 100% dead, but really not enough to keep it alive, I guess.
You said 270
on Steam.
It's dead.
Okay.
That's dead.
No, it's dead. Suicide Squad, who had like 13 players on Steam.
There's 13 players.
That was recently, yeah, or something like that. So in terms of deadness, but I think where I kind of like flip my thought process on this game is when I learned, one, this game was created as a college project by 4 dudes.
Okay.
So that's really cool. So they really didn't anticipate this game launching and really being how big it became, if that makes sense.
How did this happen?
I'm guessing like maybe a professor had a connection, like, dude, this is something that you could send off to a developer and maybe somebody will pick it up. I don't know, or maybe they made their own development company. And again, it just exploded. But I think why this game is coming out is because of how much success. Actually, that is why it's coming out. The first one had so much success with with little resources. And now the investment behind this game is also huge. So you know how much money is being invested into this game?
How much?
$100 million.
That's a lot of dough.
And so instead of being like this indie 4 development team game, it is now a AAA title for Splitgate 2.
I mean, I'm nervous. Aren't you at all nervous?
No, for sure. I think it's cool to see that they had so much success. But my question is the success because the mechanics and the game type was so novel and like so new where everybody was excited? But now, is it really going to be that same fresh feel when it comes out? If that makes sense.
That's what I'm super nervous about. I'm nervous about a few things. Number one, we just talked about the mechanics and the gameplay style was very new at the time. Is it just kind of become the norm at this point where people don't care about it anymore? Number two, is so much time passed that the people that were a loyal fan base of this game, just there's nothing that you could do. They just don't care anymore because too much time has passed. And also, lastly, number three, it's like, yeah, they're throwing a huge budget at this game, but do you think part of the popularity came from the game being just kind of like this indie low budget game that people kind of rallied behind, and now it's like you're gonna get a bunch of people that are like, oh, Splitgate sold out, man, it's the mainstream now, and like
maybe, I don't know, and it's hard to say how that is going to happen. I think what this comes down to is what ways can they, one, keep their identity of Splitgate with the Portal aspect, and two, how can they make it innovative enough to really justify playing that over a different game? And I think with what some of the stuff they're doing, they're trying to do that. But at the same sense, it's like you said, is it one, too much time has passed, and two, is it going to be well received because like they're not, I don't want to say they're selling out. They're hitting a bigger market now. They're trying to make it a game where it can be more polished and things like that. But you know what I mean? Where I'm trying to go with that?
No, without a doubt. I just think, I don't know. Like it's kind of scary when you throw a budget behind a game like that never really had that budget, right? So it's like, does it have a fan base because it's indie? Does it have a fan base because it was low budget and people got behind it? Does it have you know it is it going to have enough bells and whistles attached to it to justify $100 million budget? Like if you play this game and you know that there's $100 million budget behind it, you're probably expecting to see some really great stuff. And I think because the budget is so high and because it never had a budget like that before, and how much people love the original game, if this game does not absolutely blow your socks off, it is going to get nitpicked like no other. You know what I mean? 'Cause, like it's like if you order a steak, right? Say you order a $20 steak and you're like, yeah, this is pretty good. Or you order like a $400 steak. You're like, I'm gonna look at this a little harder. Like this better be freaking amazing. This better be freaking amazing. You know what I mean? And I think people are gonna be looking at the game the same way, saying like, well, there's $100 million budget behind this. Like I better see something awesome.
And I hope that they do deliver that. So let's go ahead and roll the trailer. We can kind of talk about some of the things that I kind of saw within it. Essentially, so if you've never played before, it's a 4v4 arena shooter. Kind of has the same gimmick of like, oh, you're in an arena, kind of like the finals, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's gonna be different. So you see this character here. There's gonna be something called factions, which it's not hero based. So like, you know how like Overwatch is different characters that have different abilities.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken a similar take on factions, like classes. So similar to Destiny or Battlefield, where you can be like a healer or things like that. And so going over that a little bit. So this guy in the orange, he's going to play more like a tank. You'll see it in a couple seconds here where he throws down a shield. This character is going to be, oh, well, now it disappeared. But the purple character, she's going to be more like the recon and time manipulation character. And then the guy in the front here, he's going to be like the more agile character. So I think he's going to be the one that uses, like, so the tank there. This guy's the agile one where he can throw down a portable portal. There's the recon girl where she can look through walls, which is becoming big in a lot of games where you can look through walls. I don't know why that's become a thing. And there's that time manipulation where she slows down time. But it's cool. I mean, I think the trailer has got me a little bit excited. It's just expanding on what they are. Granted, it's a cinematic trailer, so there's not really any true gameplay at all. But in terms of that, I felt like they did a really good job with the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of these, online shooters, but I will say that like Splitgate was one that I always kind of had a lot of respect for, honestly, just because I kind of like the idea, and especially when it comes to like how I interact with these games. Like I said, I'm not the biggest player. If I'm seeing this game, I'm watching like a homie play it. You know what I mean? And this was one of the ones that was like more exciting for me to watch. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wish this game all the best. Like I think it's a respected title. The concerns that I brought up are just the amount of time passed, the amount of money going into it. Can they make something that's not only stands true to what the original Splitgate was, but improve upon it, innovate it, use that money wisely? Can they get the fan base back from how much time has passed? It's I wish it all the best, but there's so many questions, and I feel like they're setting themselves up to like really fight an uphill battle.
Yeah, and I think with that uphill battle is the market is so saturated right now.
Correct.
With not just FPS, it's first person shooters, it's third person shooters, it's hero shooters, it's battle royale games, and you're kind of taking a spin on Halo, and it's hard to like the original is always going to be the better one.
Right.
For the most part, there's some games where it's not the case, but Halo's such an established franchise, and they're expanding on things. But overall, I think part of why this game died is or not died. Well, yeah, died.
It's pretty dead. It's on life support.
People. Yeah,
it's on life support.
But I think part of it is the skill gap in the game was insane. Like if you really want to get good and play ranked, if you don't play ranked, then that's fine. But I did go in there today playing the game a bit because I wanted to see like refresh my memory a little bit. I had fun and I was actually really good.
Really?
Yeah, I played 3 rounds and like I don't think I went negative once. In my first game, I went 28 and like 10, and I was like the kill leader.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm playing against people who are just holding on to this game for too long, or they're coming back to it to try it again to see what it's all about. But yeah, I was crushing it. But in terms of the actual what pushed people away is the skill gap. And I think if they can figure that out, that will help their case a bit. If you can find a way to limit the skill gap, and part of that is the speculation that is out there is saying the portals are going to be still a big part of the game, but you won't be able to spam them to the point where it's like insane. So like the pro players, like they knew how to use the portals like in ways that are like it could blow your mind. And I was like, okay, let me see some of these pro players, and I pulled up videos of them, and the portals are flying. I'm like, where are you putting these portals? And then they get kill, 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 portal, portal, portal. I'm like, oh, I just ran around, threw a portal around, shoot somebody, find another spot to go. But other than that, I think that's something they got to figure out. So the speculation is the portals are going to play a role, but not as big.
I kind of like that actually because I'm not gonna lie. You guys know I'm not the biggest shooter guy, but I do play with the homies when they ask me to play and stuff like that. I've tried a couple games. This one specifically was one that was very intimidating to me, and it was because of the portals. Because I'm not good in a regular arena, let alone an arena where people can literally you're basically teleporting. You know what I mean? Like forget the portal aspect of it. You're basically teleporting through the map. And like I don't know. For me, that was such an intimidating thing because it's like, I don't know the map well enough to run around it. You know it well enough to know where to teleport to. You know what I mean? Like that, like exactly what you said, that skill gap is so gigantic.
And it's funny, it's one of the most rage inducing things in Call of Duty is when somebody gets behind you. And then at this game, that's the whole idea is you want to try to get behind the enemies and try killing them that way. But it's just funny. The game has a lot to offer in terms of like the game modes too, and I think that's why it was so fun. And they're expanding on that. One thing that they're adding in this is so, like I said, the factions. The factions that are confirmed right now are the Aeros, which is that agile faction. The Sabrask, that's like the tank, throw down the barriers, and then the Meridian, which is like the time control, slow traps, recon, all that stuff. So those are the confirmed ones. I don't know if there's going to be more or just those three. This one's going to have gun customization in terms of loadouts. Splitgate, the original, had like skins and stuff, but you couldn't really customize and things like that. And you'll be able to upgrade them as well. And now there'll be like throwable abilities too, which Splitgate didn't have that as well. So, I mean, they're definitely expanding on the first one. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to expand on it without losing its identity, but also find a way, like we've been already saying, is bring back a player base that's gone in a new way. And like you said, you wish it all the best. I wish it all the best because I'm going to play it, or at least for a bit. And I think with that, how much money is putting into it, I think they're going to put more effort into finding ways to keep that player base in such a saturated market.
It's always good to have it's always good to have a nice budget to work with, right? But with great budget comes great responsibility. Yeah, so I mean, we really better see some bangers here. Like like we said, we wish it all the best. Hopefully the player base does come back and is still interested in this game because like I said, it was one that was always enjoyable to watch. It was always fun. I always thought it was a convenient or a creative idea, not convenient. I always thought it was a creative idea. Yeah, so we wish it all the best. With the skill gap, I mean, hot topic, but skill-based matchmaking is a thing now. So maybe just do a little skill-based matchmaking. See what.
There we go. One more thing I'd like to say on it is it is going to showcase during Gamescom. Like there's gonna be a playable version that's gonna be showcased at Gamescom. So keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be August. I don't know the specific dates, but it's August. I don't know Gamescom's dates, but yeah, if you're interested in this, keep an eye out. There will be playtests. There'll be a bunch of stuff to get player feedback and fan feedback, which is really good. And when you have games like that, wants to make everybody happy and listen to the feedback, that's a good thing.